In today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys along with me so you can see all of my favorite productivity apps that I use in a day. Now, not every single one of these apps gets used every single day. These are just my favorite apps to use to get things done, whether it's actual task management apps or just apps that I use for my work. Now, right now it's almost lunchtime and I thought I'd pop in to give you guys an update of what I've been doing throughout my day. I did film all the clips this morning because I thought it would be fun for you to actually realistically see the structure of my day and how I'm using the apps. So I started off the morning by using GoodNotes. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite apps. I use my digital planner in here. I will have the one that I'm using linked in the description. But for this, I usually do either my weekly planning or my daily planning, writing out to-do lists. I absolutely love doing that in GoodNotes. It just has that really nice pen to paper feeling while still being digital. And it's really satisfying when throughout the day I can just cross off things off of my to-do list right from here. And I use GoodNotes for a bunch of other things as well. Obviously, every month I do my monthly plan with me videos where you can see more of my process of planning out my month in GoodNotes. I also have a reading journal in GoodNotes where I keep track of my books, and it's just a really nice creative way for book journaling. But this morning I was just planning out my week and all the tasks that I wanted to get done. Usually while I'm doing this type of planning, I also reference my calendar, and my calendar app of choice is actually just the Apple Calendar app. Usually these are events that I've already scheduled in advance and planned out, and then I can just move them into GoodNotes. But in my calendar app, I usually just add in like due dates for certain videos or sponsors or just any scheduled events. Now, I do actually use my Google Calendar account in the Apple Calendar app just because Google Calendar is supported a lot more with third-party apps like syncing it with Notion, for instance. But I prefer the look and overall feel of Apple Calendar. So this was just the best case for me. So I use my Google Calendar account so I can sync it with other apps, but the main calendar app that I use, I prefer Apple Calendar for. I am just really focused on how the user interface works and looks when it comes to choosing what apps I like. And I just prefer having Apple Calendar, especially since the apps are native on all my devices. Especially like on Mac, you have an Apple Calendar app. You cannot download like a Google Calendar app. You have to do it through the web browser. So I just really overall prefer the user interface of Apple Calendar, but obviously the convenience comes with using Google Calendar accounts. And then I just went on to time block my day in an app called Structured. This isn't an app that I use every single day, but on days where I have a bit more going on, where I want more structure in my day, then I just like to reach for this. It's just really nice to have. I do have a whole video going into depth about this app and how it works and all of its features if you want to check that out. But basically, it just allows you to input your task and set it to a dedicated time in your day. And it's just really nice if I have a fuller day so that I can have like a visual image of what my day looks like. So this is what my completed day planned out looked like in the Structured app, and I absolutely love the widgets that come with this app. It's available on, again, all my devices, so I can have it on my Mac, my iPad, my iPhone, so I can clearly see what tasks that I allocated for that time. But the overall look I just really love of this app, and just the way that it visualizes your tasks, and it even has this Focus Now feature that you can turn on to show the time progression of your tasks if you want to be more focused in on a specific task that you're doing. So that's the Structured app, just a really nice overall time blocking app if you're looking for one. And after that, I just needed to quickly do some editing for a video that I wanted to finish up, and I do this in Final Cut Pro. I know there are many other video editing softwares out there, but Final Cut Pro is definitely my favorite that I've used, and I've just really gotten a good workflow with it. And also I have a lot of plugins in Final Cut Pro that I use in all of my videos, which I just really love, and it saves me a lot of time when I'm using plugins. Now, if you've ever wondered how I get cool transitions like this or unique titles like this and this, it's all using plugins from MotionVFX, who are also the kind sponsors of today's video. Now, if you don't know what MotionVFX is, it's a place where you can find plugins for all of your favorite video editing softwares. There's for Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, whatever your workspace is, they have a ton to offer. And I've been a user of their plugins plugins for literal years. Some of my favorite plugin packs from them is the MTuber series. They have for MKBHD, MKeynote that's created by iJustine, and these just save me so much time, and the graphics are really some of the best qualities that I've seen for plugins, and it's just really easy to start using and to learn how to use. Now, they recently brought out a new subscription which allows you to use a bunch of their plugin packs all with just one subscription, and this works out way cheaper than buying individual plugin packs because it's just one payment that you can pay either monthly or yearly, and then you get access to a bunch of their plugins. Now, the subscription that I recommend that I'm also using is the Design Studio Professional. This gives you access to over 5,000 motion elements, and this is worth over $12,000 of plugins. You get access to over hundreds of their templates. You can use their MCaption AI plugin, and like I already mentioned, you get access to their collections that they designed with famous YouTubers like MKBHD or iJustine, and there are so many other plugins and elements that you can use in your videos. So I highly recommend checking this out. This has helped me a lot to just expand more in the plugin packs that I'm using, and like I already said, using these plugins just saves you so much time because they already look great and high quality once you drop them into your timeline. So we'll have MotionVFX linked in the description box below where you can go sign up for the subscription. I highly recommend this if you're looking to upgrade your video editing and you're looking for some more unique looks and plugins for your videos. This is definitely the way to go. But thank you again so much to MotionVFX for sponsoring this portion of today's video. So once I finished that video edit, I also just quickly popped into my email app just to check some emails. I usually do this more at the beginning of the day. This day just ended up being more towards the afternoon. But the app that I use for emails is Spark Mail. I've just been using this, I believe, for maybe like 2 years or so. I saw a YouTuber recommend this once and I just really liked it. I liked the overall user interface. It's a nice app. It allows me to use multiple different email accounts and have that kind of organized, and it has different smart filters and views for your different emails. But yeah, if you're looking for a good emailing app, I do recommend Spark as an email app. But that has been my morning so far. Right now it's lunchtime, so I'm gonna do that and then I'll get back to you guys to show you some of the apps that I actually use for my work. So these are more creative apps, but I'll pop in again after lunch. So one app that I use all the time, whether it's while I'm filming, like right now, I actually have it open on my phone here, or just when I'm planning out videos and content, is Notion. I don't use Notion so much for like to-do lists and all that anymore. I mostly use it for project management. So planning out videos, planning out sponsorships, scheduling those things in, and especially just like scripting YouTube videos, I love to use Notion for. I just have a really good system down for this in my content manager page where I can plan out videos, set what part of the production the video is in, and I can easily link my databases together. So I have a link between my sponsorship database and my videos database, so I can cross-reference those as well. So I absolutely love Notion for this. It's just great overall for like keeping track of things. I also have like a really nice book tracker in Notion that I also like to use. But yeah, Notion is definitely my favorite page for planning out content and going a bit more in depth in scripting. And like I said, when I am doing videos, usually like I'll write it out on my laptop, the script, but when I'm filming videos like right now and I want to reference something, I usually have it open on my phone. So that's really nice that it does sync across the devices, and yeah, it's just an overall really powerful app. So I highly recommend Notion if you're looking for something like that. Then also when I'm planning out videos, a lot of times I am also like researching things, or just in general for web browsing needs, I love to use Arc browser. It's a really great web browser. I really love the design and how it overall works. I did mention this in a video that I did in the past, but I really liked the minimalism of Safari browser, but I also was missing a lot of the features that you get on like a Chrome browser, especially Chrome extensions. But with Arc browser, you get kind of like a really nice minimal design, but it does support like Chrome extensions that you can use on the web browser. So yeah, it has like this little menu bar at the side where you can see all of your tabs and also pin tabs. You can have different workspaces. So I have one for work, personal, and then just entertainment. You can even have different profiles as well. So my one profile is just like my default one that I use all the time, and the other one is mostly for business related things. So all my things are then signed into my business account. So there are just so many things you can do with this web browser, and like I said, I just really love the user interface. I also use Arc on my phone as well. I have the web browser, that's what I use all the time for when I'm browsing on my phone, and you can also access all of your pinned tabs that you have on your desktop. You can also access those on your phone as well. I highly recommend checking this out if this sounds like a web browser that you would like, but this is a really pretty and nice to use web browser. Now, when it comes to my actual creative work, I have a few apps that I really love and would always recommend. I already mentioned that I use Final Cut Pro for my video editor of choice. It's also available on iPad, so that's really nice if you want to sync between your different devices. But for other creative work, I love to use the Adobe suite. So I don't use Premiere Pro, like I already said, but I use all the other apps on there. I've probably been using like the Adobe suite for the last like 2 to 3 years, where I've really learned how to use the different apps. So I edit all of my thumbnails in Adobe Photoshop. It just has so many great advanced features that I've just gotten used to and that I actually really can't go without anymore. It can just do a lot of elaborate things that, for instance, Canva wouldn't allow me to do, just so that I can really get the look that I want for my thumbnails. So Photoshop, I absolutely love it. And I know there are alternatives. I know people really don't like Adobe's subscription price. It is insane, I'm completely honest. But I have used apps like Affinity Photo, for instance, which is available on iPad as well, and on Mac, which is probably like a cheaper option. But the convenience of having the entire Adobe suite and having the things sync across everything just is really convenient. So that's why I go for the Adobe suite. So I also use Adobe Illustrator when I'm doing a lot more of my designing. So whether that is creating app icon packs for you or creating sticker packs, I have a few that I release when I'm doing monthly plan with me videos. And I also have like 2 or 3 packs on Etsy that I sell. So I really love Adobe Illustrator. This is probably my favorite app to use. I don't use it as much as, say, Final Cut Pro or Photoshop, but when I'm doing things on there, I absolutely love it. It just has a bunch of great features. And yeah, I just really love the design aspect of Illustrator. Adobe Lightroom I also sometimes use for editing photos. I don't do this all that much, but when I need like a good editor for editing photos, I use Lightroom or Lightroom Classic. And mostly when I am using Lightroom, I'm using it on my phone to quickly edit like a photo or something. Also, when you do have the entire subscription from Adobe, you do get access to the Pro version of the Adobe Express app. I don't really use this all that much. I mostly use Canva, which is pretty much equivalent to Adobe Express. But just so you know, if you don't have the Pro version of Canva or you're missing some features in Canva and you want something similar and maybe you already have like a subscription to Adobe, then you can use their Adobe Express app, which is on your phone or computer. And it's basically like Canva. It has templates that you can use and reuse, and yeah. Then also Canva is one of my favorite apps as well. I use this all the time for creating quick graphics and just easy designing, and it's way quicker maybe than doing something in like Illustrator, for instance. And it's also just great for reusable templates because it's on my phone. I can quickly edit something or just change something up from a design that I already made. I use this a lot when I'm making graphics for like Instagram stories or just like literally anything that I want to make a quick graphic for. Also, I use this for like carousels on Instagram. I've recently been playing around with that more, and it works really great for that just because of how simple it is to just lay out things and add little other elements to your design that's already on Canva. So yeah, I really recommend Canva. They have a ton of different templates for you to choose from, and it's a great app whether you're a content creator, big or small, or if you're just a business or just a person wanting to make some quick graphics. Canva is a really easy to use app that has a bunch of features to it, so highly recommend checking that out as well. I think those are all the apps that I wanted to focus that are more work related and some of my creative apps as well. If you have any questions about any of these apps, definitely leave them in the comments. But I'm gonna continue working now, and then I'm gonna show you just a few apps that I like to use when I'm winding down for the evening. I just feel like it's always important in these productivity focused videos to just remind people that while working hard and getting your stuff done is important, you also need to make sure you take time to wind down after a day like that, rest so you can get back on that the next day. So yeah, I'll be sharing with you just some of my favorite apps that I like to use when I'm trying to wind down for the night. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. So it's later in the evening, and yeah, I'm downstairs at the moment, not in my office, and I thought it's a good time to share the winding down apps that I just really like. Again, these are not productivity apps, so it doesn't really match the vibe of the video, but like I already explained, it's really important to take some time to rest. So in the evenings, I have two ways that I usually like to wind down. Obviously, like a TV show or something like that is always nice, but when it comes to apps specifically that I use when I need to wind down, I have two suggestions which are pretty common, but I thought I'd share them with you anyway. So the first app that I'm going to be covering, which is probably my most loved and most used app when it comes to having a hobby or just relaxing, and that is the Kindle app. So on here, this is my books e-reader, so you can download a bunch of apps on here. I recently did an unboxing on this if you want to check it out, but yeah, you'll see the Kindle app there. And yeah, I love reading. It's my favorite way to just wind down after a day, especially like before bed. I prefer to read. It just really helps calm the thoughts. There's nothing better than falling asleep to a book. So yeah, I usually either browse books on here just because it is a color e-reader, so that makes browsing books a lot better than say on the Kindle. I do have a Kindle as well and also love that. This has just been the e-reader that I've been reaching most for lately. So yeah, I'll either browse books on there since it's in color, or just using my phone for browsing. And then usually when I browse on my phone, I just end up reading on my e-reader as well. I don't really like to read on my phone all that much, but obviously the apps are a lot faster on your phone than on like an e-ink device like a Kindle or another e-reader. This can probably be seen as like a productivity tool if you're using it for maybe like non-fiction, educational books, self-help books, something like that. That's just not at all what I prefer to read. I'm mostly fiction, fantasy, romance, all that. Another app that I can probably suggest in this category, I wasn't planning on mentioning this, but the Libby app is really great if you're looking for books that you can borrow from your library, ebooks, because you just add your library card to the app and then you can borrow books that way. I use Libby on my books device as well, but you can find it on your phone. If you're in the US, you can also send the books that you borrow from Libby to your Kindle, which is really nice. But yeah, that's a free way to get ebooks. Basically just works like a regular library card, but it's just ebooks. And also, if you don't think your library is going to support this, I still recommend looking to see if it does, because here in South Africa, I did not think any of our libraries would support Libby, but surprisingly, the library that I'm at does. So I still recommend checking it out. Then the other app that I like to wind down with is a game. I'm not really a big gamer, and this doesn't happen very often that I actually reach for this, but on the nights that I do want to do something other than read or watch a show, then this is a really nice option. So I really like to play Disney Dreamlight Valley. It's on my laptop, so that's really nice. You can also get it on like Switch or PC or whatever you have, but the fact that it's on Mac is just really convenient because I have one. So yeah, I've played this on Switch also for a while, but I don't have my Switch anymore. But it's a really fun game and very relaxing. You're just doing a bunch of missions and quests for Disney characters basically. And it's a really just easy to use game, not a lot of brain power or anything, and that's what I really like. I'm not really someone who's gonna go for like a shooter or something, especially when I'm just trying to relax. This is a really nice app, and it is also available now for iPhone and iPad, and probably on your Mac as well in Apple Arcade. So if you already have an Apple Arcade subscription, then you can get the game for yourself to play. Yeah, I highly recommend that as well. But that's the end of this video with all of my productivity apps. I hope you got an app suggestion. Again, if you're interested in checking out MotionVFX, I will have it linked in the description box below. I really do love their plugins, and I've been using their plugins for years, so I thought it would be nice to partner with them to share this in case you guys are interested in getting some plugins for your video editing if you're a creator. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!